Another update on the garage build. Got a lot going on still. Thought I was wrapping up, but ended up having a few more things to do. Had the builder come out yesterday and take a look at the site, and just basically tell me what he sees as far as could be an issue. Overall, I was pretty happy with everything I've got done and how it's looking, how the layout's looking. Again, that white line on there is outlining the garage. There's just one thing that he wasn't real excited about, and it's something I haven't been excited about myself. Basically, the way this road drain was going to work, or the ditch line, and how water was going to come off this hillside, and how it was going to get that direction or somewhere. And basically, he recommended that I put a French drain all the way around the driveway, all the way through here, and tie back into the one that I put in earlier. And where before, the way it was is the hill just came down and the water was just going to run. I was going to have a French drain in front of the garage, have it go out that way, down and around, that direction. And I knew it wasn't ideal because I'd have water kind of pulling in here at times. It's going to be really dependent on getting those elevations right on the French drain and all that drainage system. Those drains could clog over time. Then I've got to pull water basically in between the garage and the house over here. That's kind of hard to do anything with. And so I knew it wasn't ideal. Another thing too is that I thought it'd probably end up keeping the driveway kind of wet, and I was hoping I'd get enough gravel on it. It wouldn't be a problem for light vehicles getting in and out. But I knew that it could be a problem. So I wasn't real excited about it, but I didn't think this situation would work as well as it actually ended up working. So anyway, I've been out here this morning, cutting a ditch in through here. And basically I pushed this hillside over about, 5 feet, something like that. And as you can see, dug it out through here, nice and deep. It's pretty tight in here. This will be the footer right here. Just give them, a foot or two between, the footer itself. This will be the outside of the wall, so it would be kind of on the inside of that, as far as the block goes. But I'll try to run the drain pipe as far that way as I can, kind of backfill in here. Just getting around this one corner is a little tight, but I think I get all the elevations right, and it's really going to help keep some of this water that comes down off this hill going somewhere else, which is basically all the way around that way, and keep the foundation dry, the floor dry. He was worried about even water getting underneath the floor of the garage, even though he's going to put footer drains around the footer. He just wasn't real excited about that. And again, I wasn't either about how this was going to turn out with the front of the garage. So I'm glad I did it, but I kind of had to step back and start over with a few things. For one thing, I just got rid of the dump trailer, took it back down to buddy's house in Lincoln County, and picked up his utility trailer to take the tractor back. I was planning on taking it back to my dad this weekend. So now I got to go run back out and get the dump trailer. I'm about to bring a bunch more river gravel in here and fill this in. I'll have to go get some more pipe and everything. So not a big deal, not the end of the world. I'm glad I did it ultimately, because it'd been a lot harder to deal with this after the garage is here. So anyway, made pretty good progress this morning. I think I've been working at it for about 4 hours maybe. Up to here, I could use the tractor pretty good. And in here, it's been a lot of handwork basically. What I do is I take the backhoe and kind of just stir it up a little bit, and I shovel it up onto the side of the hill. That way, at least it's loosened up for me. But I can't do much with the backhoe because there's nowhere to put it. I can't tram it anywhere with the backhoe very easily. And if I would have done this at the beginning, it'd have been a lot easier. I could have just used the backhoe, pulled it onto the driveway, picked it up, pushed it, dragged it down over the hill. I could have got rid of the spoil a little bit easier, is what it would boil down to. But oh well, I learned a lesson on that. And it hasn't been too bad. I'm only trying to dig it about 6 inches deep, maybe 8 inches, just enough to get that 4-inch pipe down in there and lay some gravel on it. He was worried about, and again, myself as well, water in this area. And it's coming down off this hill, and before it just kind of went straight to the gravel. There's nowhere for it to go. Sometimes it get kind of wet in here, and of course it's heading down into my garage over here onto that wall. Part of what my original solution was, I figured, well, some of that water will just kind of come down through here. I made a little ditch on this side with that riprap on it, or number ones I think they call it, and it will kind of just flow that way and catch it down there at the drain, and that would have been okay. But meanwhile, you got this just stays wet trying to drain onto it. Basically the ditch is on the wrong side of the road, is what it boils down to. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not quite done yet. I gotta keep digging this ditch out. I'm gonna dig a ditch all the way down to here. That will keep this whole road dry. This side will run this way. It's kind of downhill. Once I get to about the tractor, it'll flow back around behind the garage. Something else I've been working on is actually ended up digging out this whole ditch over here the other day, which is kind of similar to what I'm doing today, but it was always a ditch there. It was just getting filled in with junk, leaves, and dirt rolls in off the hill, and it just needed cleaned out, and I just dumped it over there. So anyway, I'm glad I did that, but basically doing the same sort of thing on this side and really keep this whole property drained from this hillside coming down through here. It's probably what it needed all along, regardless of the garage. The more I think about it, it's just a lot of water to drain that ends up draining into the house, basically. Maybe it had something to do with my basement wall issue. I mean, right beside the basement wall is drain from the patio. You know, it keeps the first 15 feet dry right beside it. But I don't know how water works in terms of how much filters down through the dirt. You know, this clay does not drain worth anything. So it's kind of hard to picture it really seeping down to the basement. I mean, it'll sit there and puddle up for days, you know, it just doesn't go anywhere. So who knows, it may not help with that at all, but at least it'll keep this dry. At least I'll keep the garage dry and give this water somewhere to go other than that way between the house and the garage. So that's about it. Maybe I'll do another video here once I get the drain pipe put in and backfill with some gravel. Made some more progress today. Got this completely cleared out. Ended up busting out that big concrete pad that was in here. And yeah, I had in mind that we would pour any leftover concrete in this area and kind of just brushed around with a broom. It'd just be kind of rough, but a place to kind of swing the front end of vehicles around. It gets a little tight in here. And I just started thinking more about it. You know, really, this should drain all the way down through here. We start putting concrete in there, now it's going to drain onto the asphalt here and down out that way. And I thought that's probably not the best bet. So I probably end up putting some gravel in here and stopping my French drain about the end of the pavement there. That way, if somebody's turning around in here, they don't crush the pipe. Bigger vehicles like UPS truck turn around, they'll pull their tire down in there. You know, as soon as I get a French drain in there, they'll just smash it. But anyway, cleaned out this side a little bit better. Got all the way down through here cleaned out pretty good. Been dumping all the spoil over this hill right here. All this will drain into this pipe. That goes under the road, down over that way. Everything coming down here goes into this pipe, under the road here. Everything coming down this way comes into this pipe. And then end up cleaning this drain out, or this ditch line out today too. All the way down to there, just dumping it over the hill. Trying to get all the leaves and dirt that's built up over the years and kind of get that beat down a little bit. So anyway, I think it's looking pretty good. I think my drainage operation is going to be a lot better than it was in terms of all this, plus all the garage operation. You know, this really needed some work anyway, looking back on it. I didn't realize how bad it was and how much junk had built up in there. And it was, you know, having the tractor over here was an ideal tool to work at it. So one thing I've been working on is trying to get the backfill for the power line trench figured out. You know, it's not super easy to get it perfect, especially on the side of the hill right there. But I just kind of been picking away at it, doing some shoveling, just handwork at it, trying to get the tractor back in there and start it back around. It's looking a lot better after today. Down through here, I've kind of brushed it around with the backhoe, trying to get it close. You know, for one thing, you backfill it, and then it settles, you know, a good bit. Sometimes it settles more than you think. Sometimes it settles less than you think. So it's kind of hard to predict. But I pile it up on it real tall, let it settle, drive over it a little bit, and I came back in today and just worked that backhoe, trying to spread it around the best I could. And, you know, it's not looking bad at this point. I'm only trying to really get down to about here because my gas line ends right about here right now. Once the garage is done, I'm going to tap back into it and run it that way. So all this will get tore up again before it's over with. So really just kind of want to get it looking nice in here. And I think what I'm going to do is let it sit for another couple weeks, get a tiller in here and till this up real nice and shovel it around a little bit more, fill in low spots, knock off the high spots, and throw some seed and straw on it and just let it sit there and let the rain work on it and kind of get it beat down. Obviously the goal is to get it to where it's flat enough you can run the lawnmower over it without getting dirt caught up in it and everything. So it's looking a lot better than what it was. It was ruts down in here, and it was just a heck of a mess. But slowly getting it better. I don't know how well you can see in the video. But anyway, that's my next little project too, trying to get it. Hopefully by fall, putting some seed and straw down on it and some fertilizer.